I think it's well recognized that there is no more eloquent spokesperson for human rights and civil rights in this Congress than John Lewis. And there's been no one who's been more determined to try to resolve the underlying human rights and worker rights issues in this Columbia agreement and move it forward and resolve and make some adjustments and seek some middle ground than Sandy Levin. With the administration's incredible announcement today that it rejects the moderate position that Mr. Levin has advanced of including the action plan in this agreement, I think the need for the Lewis amendment has become ever more apparent. And I can't match his eloquence, but I do want to add a few facts that justify the amendment of my colleague from Georgia. In many parts of the world, workers rely on collective bargaining and employers as a labor management tool. In Colombia, it is a collective intimidation and collective murder. There is no place in the world that has a higher assassination rate of union workers than in Colombia. And while progress may have been made after years of intimidation and murder, the backlog, the impunity, the system that is in place there in Colombia has not been totally altered. Without a way to enforce these provisions that's effective, we could easily see the little progress made in recent months in Colombia go in exactly the opposite direction. I remain concerned that even the action plan itself does not do enough about this backlog of impunity cases, does not address them. And there is no agreement in the action plan about how the paramilitary successor groups that are currently issuing death threats to unions will be dealt with either. And so I believe the better approach is the one taken by Mr. Lewis. With regard to the question of whether progress has been made, it is important to note that as recently as February of this year, the International Labor Organization sent a high-level mission to Colombia to investigate what was happening there. And they reached these conclusions, and I quote, "The mission was deeply concerned at the repeated and detailed information it received concerning acts of anti-union discrimination at the enterprise level and in the public sector, as well as the failure to take effective action to stop it." The report continues, "The great majority of homicide cases, that is murders, remain unresolved with negative consequences that were made abundantly clear." It continues, "Violence and impunity remain present in the society and therefore a major challenge." It continues, "The majority of the cases have not been investigated, nor have the perpetrators, including the intellectual authors of these crimes, been brought to justice." That is a report on the state of this issue in Colombia this very year. And as much as there may be some goodwill in both the administration here and the administration there to rectify that, that is insufficient given this history and given this reality. And so I'm pleased to join in support of Mr. Lewis's amendment because I think that taking a little time to address these issues is critical in developing our new trade policy for the 21st century that is concerned not only with the movement of goods, but of the treatment of people. And I yield back.